All right. Okay. So, hi everyone. This is Chris. I'm from Canaqua Sports and the Western Canada race director. And today I have with me Karen Natho. And Karen is going to tell you a little bit about Swim Run. Of course, we have an event coming up on September 22nd, which is in about 1 week, 2 days. So, hoping that you'll join us. And we're doing a little intro of the course. So, Karen, tell
Great.
us
Hi,
all about
everybody.
Swim Run.
Yeah, hi, everybody. So I'm really fortunate because every year this fresh and salty has been offered. I've been able to compete in it. I started swim run when I heard about it in Ontario. I was a triathlete, but I have to say biking wasn't my favorite thing. I love open water swimming and I love trail running, and I found out about swim run. I have been fortunate enough with Canaqua to go to the individual short course championships in Italy, which Chris will tell you more about, as this is one of the qualifiers for it. And that was a qualifier that I did in Sudbury with Canaqua. And then actually, I just returned. Myself and my teammate qualified for the World Ultra Championships. The race course series is called Utilu, and it's that means essentially island to island, and it is a ultra course distance of over 70 kilometers, going over 24 islands in the Baltic Sea off of Stockholm. And I just returned from that, and we were the first ever female Canadian team. So, what can I tell you about Swim Run?
Yay.
Yeah, so Swim Run is an adventure type racing, meaning that it's you against the elements. And there is solo swim running where you do it independently on your own. And then when you get to the longer type courses, then you are starting to do them with a partner. And you'll see funny pictures when you do Google where people are tethered together. And there's a whole strategy with tethering as well as a safety with tethering. And so that's what I was doing in Sweden. The Fresh and Salty Swim Run course is an individual race, so we will be doing it individually. And it involves trail running, it involves pavement running, it involves open water swimming in both a lake as well as the Pacific part of the Pacific Ocean, I guess you could say. And it's not like a triathlon where you do your swimming and then you do your running and then you're done. It's actually various stages of swimming and running and swimming and running and swimming and running, which is why you wear your running shoes, because you're running on a trail and you come to a green buoy and you say, it's time for me to swim. And you jump in with your running shoes. And that's why you have your pull buoy, because you can't really kick proficiently with running shoes. So you throw the pull buoy between your legs for that your legs float, and then you use your upper body to propel yourself forward, which is why you bring the big paddles. And then when you get to the end of your swim, you crawl out of the rock, crawl up on the rocks, get back onto the running trail, throw your pull buoy out from between your legs, swing your paddles around, and start running because you've got your running shoes on. And you do that over and over and over again, you against the elements, until you get to the finish line. So that is what swim run is about. It's a very large sport in Scandinavia, with some of the major countries right now competing would be France, Sweden, Germany, and Spain. And there actually is a very large group of swim runners down in the United States. So we're really trying to encourage the sport of swim run to develop to a greater extent here in Canada.
All right. Okay. So let's talk a little bit more. So this long course event, which is going to be 23K, is a IWC World Qualifier. And the World Qualifier is going to be the top two women and top two men will earn a spot in the Aquaticrunner World Championship. And this year or next year, it's held in Grotto, Italy.
That's
So
right. And you go from
that sounds
Grotto,
fun.
which is this cute little Italian town not too far from Venice, and you essentially are going island hopping, so swimming and running and swimming, running until you get to the town of Liguiano. And so it's a destination race from Grado all the way to Liguiano, and it's pretty incredible. You fly into Venice. It's about an hour's drive from Venice. It's a beautiful race.
Nice. Yeah, so hopefully some people will take advantage of that.
Mhm.
Those top two women and top two men. Okay, so let's start through the course here.
That's
So,
great. So,
okay.
as Chris mentioned, it's 23 kilometers, a total of 20K of running, and a total of about 3K. It's actually exactly 2.9. So, of various different swims. And there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swims. You start with a swim, and your last stage is ending with a run. You can tell us about the first swim, Chris.
Okay, so the first swim is going to start in Sasamat Lake. It's going to be 1 kilometer. We start on the big beach, and we will be running our open water event at the same time. But the swim runners go first, and so chances are they'll probably get out before the swimmers are done. But we start in the lake. We're basically going to the right of the buoys all the way around, and we're going to exit at Walrus Rock, or it's also called Dog Rock. So, depending if you're looking at the map on Google, it's noted as Walrus, but it's officially called Dog Rock.
Excellent. And so we will, or from my understanding with Chris, the swim entrance and exits will be marked with green flags, and the run portion will be marked with pink flags. Now, a beach entry is the easiest way to start a swim. When you get out at Dog/Walrus Rock, it's a little bit of a rock scramble with some big, a big step up on the rock, but then you're going to turn immediately to your left, and you're going to start along the Sasamat Lake Loop Trail. So going left. And then essentially you go up a big set of stairs. And so there's a picture of that big set of stairs, and that big set of stairs will take you. It's still a trail, but it's also, I believe, a service road. And when you get to the top of the stairs, you will be turning that, so you can see how, it's a little bit more of a gravel type trail. You're going to turn to your left. Before you know it, you're going to see this yellow gate, and you'll be passing. It's kind of like an outdoors boys and girls camp on your left as well. And you'll go right through this yellow gate, and you'll cross that road that goes into the outdoor center, and then you'll see this garbage can and these steps. And so you've now gone up, and so now you have to go down the steps. So you're going to go down these steps, and you're going to continue on the trail. And before you know it, you're going to get to a bridge. So on your right-hand side of the screen, you'll see this bridge. You'll be seeing this bridge frequently throughout the race. You go over the bridge, and at this point, you are going to turn to your right, because we are going to leave Sasamat and we're going to head towards the salt water. So as soon as we cross the bridge, we are turning to our right, and that's essentially now getting us onto this Woodhaven swamp. And you'll go over this boardwalk. Be a little cautious. This boardwalk can be a little slippery if it's raining out, but hopefully we have a nice sunny day. You get across this little boardwalk, you go up a set of stairs, and you're actually on a road. And so this is what you will see. And Chris will hopefully have a volunteer here that will be helping us cross safely. But if there is not a volunteer, remember that this is swim run, and you are responsible for your own navigation. And so just make sure that you look both ways and ensure that there's no cars. It's not a terribly busy road, but you're going to cross, you're going to follow these white markers, and you're going to cross the street. And before you know it, there's a trail that you're going to continue on the trail. So you're continuing on this trail. And again, this run segment from where you've gotten out of the water to where you're going to be swimming again, you're looking at about 6 kilometers. So you've got a 6 kilometer run ahead of you when you exit that first swim. So you're going to run after you've gone across the crosswalk. You've got a pretty good run section, and you can see that on the map here. So this is this run section here. I don't know if you can see my cursor, the Woodhaven Trail. And it involves a fairly steep climb up. And you go up, 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 up. And, don't be afraid. A lot of people do walk this section because there are many stairs and a pretty good incline. But remember, when you go up, it means you have to come down. And so the Woodhaven Trail eventually does have a down section. Right before you hit the road, you're going to come out of the trail section, and you're going to see the road. There is going to be a self-contained aid station. So Chris, maybe you want to tell us a little bit about that. Oh, I think
All
you're
right.
muted.
Yeah, I'm just muted.
There you go.
Okay, yeah. So the self-contained will be a large bucket with a bunch of like water, Gatorade, things like that. There won't be a volunteer probably at that spot, but just grab what you need. And
Absolutely.
yeah.
And remember, swim run is all about being out in the environment. And so we don't litter on the trail. So if you happen to have a gel along the Woodhaven Trail, just tuck it into your wetsuit and then dump your garbage in this bin. So again, remembering that a swim run is not conducive to littering on the trail. And so use that as perhaps a garbage can option as well. So essentially, you're done with Woodhaven Trail. You need to cross the road again. And what you're doing is you're essentially just crossing the road and bopping back up on the trail. So you go along the trail, and what you're doing is you're essentially using the trail that's on the left side of the road. There is a couple instances where you do come out on the road, run a little bit on the road, but whenever there's a trail on your left, you're going to take it. And again, the trail will be marked with pink flags. And so it's, again, that goes from the Woodhaven Trail to that Springboard Trail. And the Springboard Trail will take you all the way. It kind of like, it's a downhill, so it's a very nice run. Remembering that we do need to return back to Sasamat, so everything that comes down will have to go up, but it does weave itself around until we get to the end of the Springboard Trail, which is where Chris has marked here that big yellow star. And that big yellow star is where this picture is taken. And so when you're done with the Springboard Trail, you'll hear the excitement of Belcarra Park, but you're going the opposite direction. So you're going to start heading onto the Admiral Point Trail, which is a trail that's going to be to your left. And so here we have a really great picture of what that Admiral Trail looks like. So you come down off of Springbank and you're turning left towards Admiral Trail, and you're going to run along that trail. It's about 1.5 kilometers on that trail. And to me, this is the most exciting part because this trail is technical. It's fun. You've got roots, you've got rocks, you've got trees, and you're just, you're doing, you're running on it safely, but it is quite a good indicative piece of trail running. And you're going to continue on that trail, and you're going to pass Cod Rock, and you're going to pass Periwinkle Notch, and eventually you're going to get to Maple Beach. And Maple Beach is where your second swim of the race will be.
Yeah. So let's look at some of the technical.
It's great.
So this is
Do
what you're up
remember
for.
that this isn't a closed race, so there may be other recreational trail runners and people enjoying the pathways, and remembering that, give space for them as well, as we all enjoy the trail and we want to make this a pleasing experience for everyone. Yeah, Chris, you're right. This is probably, and I'm not going to say worst part, this is the most exciting part of the trail, but do be safe and make good choices.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Most exciting part for sure.
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So the run ends at Maple Beach, and we will have some green markers to indicate a transition between pink and green, I believe, right, Chris?
Yes. Yep.
And we're
Correct.
going
And
to
we
enter
probably
into
have
the
a
water.
volunteer there.
Now, this is going to be a little bit of a shock to the system because we've gone from nice warm Sasamat to cold Pacific Lake or Pacific
Ocean.
Ocean. And it will be a little bit chilly, right? Our nights are getting cold. And there may be jellyfish, there may be some logs, there may be some algae, but that's part of swim run, is just kind of popping in the water, swimming a bit, and popping out of the water. And that swims about 500 meters. So just as about when perhaps you're quite chilly, it will be time to get out. And you're essentially keeping the coast or the land on your right, and you can just hug the shore if that type of open water swimming is a little bit fearful for you. You're going to get out at Cod Rock. So you can see in this picture, that's what Cod Rock. So again, a rocky exit, but nothing steep or challenging. Remembering that you will be wet, so just be cautious of your footing. And from Cod Rock, you're going to jump right back on the trail that you previously were just running on, but this time you're running back towards Belcarra. So you're going to be turning left to return to Belcarra Bay on the trail that you just ran on. When you
Whoops.
get to that big, if you just
I
go
could go
back
back one there.
you're running along the trail, you're going to get to that big yellow star again. That's where you turned, but you're not going to go back up Springboard Trail where you had come from. You're going to go right into the little sort of campground area of Belcarra Bay. And so that's a great picture with, there's a parking lot, there's these picnic areas, there's actually a food concession booth. So
And
it's
the
where sort of the
washrooms too.
lots of
Yeah.
people are.
Yeah, there'll
And
be
you're
like
going to
a
run right
set of
through the
washrooms.
picnic area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and there will be a self-serve fueling station again with water and Gatorade, I believe, right, Chris?
Yes. Yep. We'll definitely
Good.
have that. And we should have a volunteer stationed there
Perfect.
too,
And you
if
said
anything
perhaps a
happens.
first aid kit or some type of medical
Yes.
support.
Yeah. Some
Yeah,
kind of medical support we will have there.
great.
Okay.
So then you're gonna run past the picnic area, and that's what the picture on the left is. That green sign is a map, and behind the green sign is a massive stump. So I always say, head towards the picnic area and keep going towards the big stump. You're going to continue on that pathway. The end of the trail is on the right-hand side, and then you're going to cross the street again. And again, that's a fairly quiet street, but do make sure that there's no cars, and you're going to cross that street, and that gets you onto Bedwell Bay Trail. Now, Bedwell Bay Trail is a very short trail. Do not follow the signs to Jug Island Beach Trail. That's a very long trail, but it is very well signed, and we will have it marked with pink flags, correct?
Yep. That's right.
And so you're going to go out to Bedwell Bay Trail, just a short little jaunt, and you're in a nice little bay. And so this water, again, is saltwater, Pacific Ocean, but it's calm water because it comes to the end of the bay and there's not much going on there. You can see it's a fairly easy entrance, and you're going to go directly across to an kind of a sandy type beach. And that's essentially the picture on your right is the picture of the exit and the trail that you'll be running on. And so now you will have completed three of your 5 swims at that point.
Okay. All right.
So then you're going to get out at that little sandy beach, follow along the trail. You're going to go around the tennis court, following the pink flags. You then loop around, and you're actually going to loop around and go back to where you just went in at the swim. So you're just going back again, and you're repeating that swim for your second time. So when you get to that cross section right here where the Bedwell Bay Trail goes out, that's going to be familiar territory because you've already been on that trail, and you're going to cross across Bedwell Bay Trail for your second time.
Yeah. And that's the start of that or the end of that trail. And this is what the beach will look like on
Yeah, so
when you
this is the
cross.
end
So
point here. The yellow star is where you've gone in. And then this end of this arrow point is where you're going to come out. So a fairly easy exit. And again, that swim is about 200 meters. So much shorter than your previous Pacific Ocean swim.
yeah. And we'll also have a couple people on paddle boards in this cove too.
Excellent. And you had
So
mentioned that there is somebody in some type of boat or watercraft,
yeah, we will
the
have some on the between the
Maple
Maple
Beach to
Beach
Cod
and
Rock swim.
Cod Rock. Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so then you're going to go out again and you're going to run around those tennis courts, but now you don't have to go back to Bedwell Bay. You're going to turn to your left, and you're going to return back across the street, back to the picnic area, remembering that there is an aid station support there.
Right here.
And now you're going to go back to that springboard trail, and now you've got a 6K fairly high incline. So you've just run down it, so you'll be aware. And now you have to go back up that trail, and you're going to stay along the trail. It pops out on the road for a bit. It goes back on to the trail. It goes back onto the road. You know that there's going to be that Rubbermaid container at where the
Right
road and
here.
Woodhaven Trail start.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go up the Woodhaven Trail, and all the up you did, you now get to go down. And so now you get to go down the Woodhaven Trail. And then you know you're almost at the end of the Woodhaven Trail when you approach those very steep steps that's going to take you down to that road, that Bedwell Bay Road. You're going to cross across Bedwell Bay Road, go back over that the
Wooden bridge.
wooden sort of boardwalk type area, and now you're going to cross over the bridge. And so when you've crossed over the bridge, and there'll be signage for you, you're essentially just going back the way you came. So you're going to cross over you're going to turn left at the bridge, you're going to turn left again, and then that's going to get you down to the Sasamat Lake Loop. And you're going back down to the main beach. The way you left the main beach is the way you're going back to the main beach. And then you've got the similar 1K swim that you did at the beginning. So you're going in at the beach, you're going around the two orange buoys, and you're coming out at Walrus or Dog Rock. So again, beach entry. And then when you come out of Dog or Walrus Rock, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to go around Sasamat Lake, but instead of this time, when you cross the bridge, instead of going towards Belcarra, you're going to go to your left this time, and you're going to do the full loop of Sasamat Lake. And this is your last run. So this is your celebration run. You're going to go across the little pedestrian bridge of Sasamat Lake, where there'll be, if it's a beautiful day, there could be people doing backflips and lots of people fishing. So remembering by this time of the day, there will be fairly a lot of user groups using these trails. So just be patient with them as we ask them to be patient with us. And you're going to just, keep the lake to your left as we loop around the lake, going past the first beach and then continuing on to the second beach, which is where we started the race. And the finish line will be, and Chris will be waiting for you at the finish line at the main beach again.
Right. Correct. All right.
How did I do? Did I get it right?
That's great. Yeah, absolutely. So now
Perfect.
we're rocking and rolling. So we got 1 week, 2 days left. So September 22nd. It's not too late to sign up.
Great. Do you have
Biz
any idea what the temperature of the water is right now, Chris?
So the temperature a couple days ago was 22 Celsius.
Okay.
So, looking at the forecast right now, I mean, it's supposed to dip down a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if we were in the 18 to 19. Maybe we'll get back up to 20.
That's the water temperature of Sasamat.
That was the water temperature. Yeah.
Right. So that's of Sasamat, but remembering that the Pacific Ocean will be much colder.
Yeah.
Probably, like I would guess, just from doing some training there this summer and then just coming out of the Baltic Sea, probably between 55 and 60 degrees would be the
Hmm.
Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, could be. Could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be as cold as maybe 14, 15, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
14, 15. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, well, I guess we'll see what kind of happens and hope for warm weather between now and then.
Yeah. Great. But
Okay.
remember, swim run, like we're wet, right? And
Exactly.
the runs aren't terribly long that, maybe you need to cap down, which means, remembering if you're really hot, the best way to release temperature is to take your cap off. But if you're cold, keep your cap on. Don't be afraid to wear neoprene gloves if it's cold, or arm sleeves, like any of the things that are able to swim with that is going to keep you warm.
Yeah. Perfect. All
Great.
right. So, any more advice that you can give them, Karen?
No, come out and give it a try.
Yes.
This is a really unique course because of the two different lake temperatures and the various different terrain. And you know what? It's just for fun. Come out and enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Be one with nature, which is all about swim run. Just appreciate that if you are able to do this, come out and do it, and appreciate that you are able to do it, and how
Yeah,
privileged we are to be out in the great outdoors doing such fun adventure type racing.
exactly. All
Yeah,
right. Wow.
good.
All right. So that's our course, long course. And like I said, we're September 22nd. World Qualifier, top two men, top two women, 23K. It's looking to be a good time, I hope. And I just hope people will come and join us. And if you've ever done it before, don't hesitate to ask. Um, you know, we're definitely can guide you in the experience. So,
Yeah,
and the other thing too is we have a 10K course, which will just be contained in the Sasamat Lake area. So if you're looking for something just to try, but a little bit shorter, that we do have the 10K. So yeah. All right. Well, thank you,
good.
Karen.
Okay, thanks,
Yeah.
Chris.